I'm Lee Thomas, Assistant Landfill Solid Waste Superintendent, Thomas County, Thomasville Municipal Solid Waste Landfill. This morning we're going to take you on a little tour of the landfill to give you a little insight on the day-to-day operations and how a landfill works. To give you a little brief history on the landfill, we've been in our current location since 1973. In 1998, we became a Subtitle D lined landfill. The landfill currently has right at 500 permitted acres of land for landfill use. Currently, the City of Thomasville, Thomas County Landfill, holds 3 permits. One for the MSW, Municipal Solid Waste, one for C&D, Construction and Demolition, and one for the closed portion of our landfill that is no longer active, but we still have to take care of. The Thomas County Thomasville landfill is a regional landfill that accepts waste from out of counties. We may have trucks in here from Valdosta, we may have trucks in here from Cairo, but we are a regional landfill. Here we take in an average of 500 to 600 tons per day. So this morning as you woke up, probably in your kitchen you throwed away a snack wrapper, right? Yeah, well you throwed it away, but where did it go? It didn't go away, it came here to the landfill. Everything has an ending spot. Unfortunately, most things that are not recycled comes to the landfill. So today what we'd like for you to do is remember that the average person, myself or you, throws away 5 to 7 pounds of trash per day. Now, if you take that number, multiply it by the people that's in your household, that could be a staggering number for one household to throw away. Could be up to 100 pounds a day. Imagine that for every citizen in Thomasville and Thomas County. Today, we're going to take you and show you where that snack paper wound up. We're going to show you what happens to it if it's not recycled and if it can't be recycled. So now let's get on the bus and go see where that snack paper wound up. First stop on our tour, Methane Flare. This methane flare was installed at our landfill in 2011. On our hill, on our waste, there's several points that pulls methane gas out of the waste, puts it over here, and burns it off. Has a couple of different purposes. Number one, it's better for the environment. Number two, it keeps the smell down. And number three, it helps with the decomposition of the waste. You may be asking yourself, how does methane gas get produced? Well, it's a very good question. Methane gas gets produced by decaying or rotting waste. Anything that ferments, decomposition causes methane gas.
Why does landfill have gas flare?
For years, we didn't have anything to do with the methane. Being good stewards and good neighbors, this methane flare was installed to help. Now our next stop will be our MSW site, Municipal Solid Waste, so where we can find out where everything that you throw away in your trash can winds up. Now for our second stop on the tour, Municipal Solid Waste. Anything that you throw away in your kitchen, from a snack wrapper that we talked about earlier to a banana peel, apple peels, you name it, if it's in your kitchen trash can and it's thrown away, this is where it winds up. The Municipal Solid Waste comes in trucks from different places, typically bringing in, 10, 12 tons at a time. This is placed in layers, which you'll see our operators is covering, pushing, continuously, never stops. From the time we open until the time we close, they're continuously placing this waste in layers. And at the end of the day, this waste is covered with 6 inches of soil. The purpose for this cover is 2 things. One, to keep out a vector. Nobody knows what a vector is, right? Well, that's anything but a fish. It could be a bird, it could be a cat, it could be a dog, anything but a fish. The only reason it can't be a fish, there's no water. Fish can't swim up here. At the end of the day, it's covered to hold down the vectors and to hold down the odor. That way, the surrounding neighbors don't complain. The number one thing for a landfill is to be a good neighbor. Now, as you can probably see, there's many items in this waste that can be extracted, can be taken out. It doesn't have to come to the landfill. One, cardboard. Cardboard can be recycled. You can pull it out of the waste stream. It doesn't have to go into the landfill. It doesn't have to be landfill. That will conserve space and make the landfill last longer. 2, old furniture. It can be donated to shelters, homeless. There's things that you can do besides put it into the landfill. You just have to reach out to your community and see what they offer. Unfortunately, there is items that is put into this landfill on a daily basis that will not decompose, that will be there indefinite. Number one thing being glass. A lot of people doesn't realize what glass is made out of, sand. And how long does it take sand to go away? Indefinitely, it doesn't go away. So if you dispose of glass in a landfill, it's there, it's not gonna go away. Another thing that I myself am guilty of, and I'm sure several of the people out here watching are, is styrofoam. Styrofoam comes in everything. We have no way to recycle styrofoam. We have no way to reuse styrofoam hardly. So when it throws in a landfill, it's there indefinitely. It doesn't rot, it doesn't ferment, it doesn't go away. It's there. It's things like this that will make you think, well, we can do better. And of course we can, if we do it together.
How long did it take for the trash mountain to get this tall?
Now the portion of the landfill we're standing on now is almost complete, which causes us to need more space. Well, fortunately, we're already in the process of constructing a new cell for waste placement, which is our next stop on the tour. Come on. The next stop is the construction of a new cell, cell 5A. Plans started in 2018 for construction of this cell. That's how long it takes to plan and construct a new cell. Now this cell will house the waste for the next probably 7 to 10 years. We'll be right here. You can see in the center here, these gentlemen are laying rock down. Under this clay, there is a 60 mil plastic liner. That's what makes it a Subtitle D lined landfill. All the juice, lychee, garbage juice, that comes off of the waste goes into those rocks that you see there and into the pipe and filtrates down. Runs onto the liner, that way it does not go back into the groundwater. And from there, it is pumped all the way to our Lychee Tanks, which we'll stop and show you those as well. And from there, it has a series of things that it does to get downtown. We'll speak on that in just a minute. This level here, we will probably start placing waste January, February of 2021. When we're finished with this cell, and an adjoining cell that'll reach it, which will be 5B, in time, it'll become part of Trash Mountain. So this nice cell that you see dug here down in the ground, eventually will be as tall as what you see that we were on earlier. So we have one more question from a student.
Caleb, do you know what stops leachate from entering the ground?
No, I don't. What is leachate?
I don't know. Let's ask him. Mr. Lee, do you know what leachate is?
Under that 2 foot of clay, we have a plastic liner, which is 60 mil. If you can think about it, 100 of your trash bags in your kitchen put together. That's how thick that plastic is. That creates a barrier between the waste and the water table. That way it cannot get back down into there. So the leachate rests and runs into a filtration pipe, which is pumped through the Lychee tanks, as I stated earlier. That prevents it from getting back into the ground and in the groundwater. Now here at the Thomas County, Thomasville landfill, there is certain items that we cannot take and will not take that is illegal. Number one being a hazardous waste. Can't take any type of hazardous waste. Number two, liquid. We can't take any type of liquid, even rainwater. It's bad for us to take, but we are a municipal solid waste landfill, not a liquid. So we can't take any type of liquids. To give you a good idea of something that's hazardous that we use every day, a battery. We cannot take batteries. Lead acid batteries are a no-no. So we can't take them. Liquid paint. However, we can take paint if it's dried out or solidified. Solidified meaning you can mix dirt with it, make it a solid, then we can take it. Now you may be asking yourself, we can't guarantee that stuff's not coming in. Well, maybe you're right, but we can sure put a curb on it. Because as you enter our landfill, we do random inspections. Our scale attendant may say, today is your lucky day. We're gonna check your load. So we're gonna dump it up top and our operator's gonna look at that load. He's gonna call back down to the scale house and he's gonna tell that gentleman, hey, this load's good, or this load's got some stuff in it. Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take what's not allowed, you're gonna put it back in your truck, and we're gonna give you a warning. Watch your loads, clean your loads up. And we're gonna put you down in the book, kind of pay attention closer to what you're bringing. And if you continue to violate the rules that the landfill has in place, then you can be penalized up to not being back in the landfill. You may ask, why such a harsh penalty? It is our job to protect the permit that the state of Georgia has granted us, and it is our job to protect the community. And by doing these random inspections and making sure everyone follows the rules, we protect the environment as well as our permit. Now, the next stop on our tour is things that we do accept, but we don't bury. They're not in the waste stream. We pull them out and recycle. One being tires.
How are tires recycled?
Great question. How are tires recycled? We take our tires and ship them to a place in North Georgia. They're then chipped up and reprocessed and put into athletic tracks or roofing material, shingles such as that. So that way, when you're out there and you're running on the athletic track, you feel that little extra bounce. That's exactly what it is, recycled tires. Another thing we recycle, metal. One of the recycling issues that most communities have are metal. People doesn't think that you can take metal and throw it away at your landfill and it be recycled, but it can here at County-Thomasville landfill. This keeps it out of the ditches, keeps it out of the woods, and it's a lot better for the environment. So you can bring your refrigerator, you can bring your freezer, your stove, any metal type like that, as long as it doesn't have food in it, for free. And we'll take it. We're going to turn around and recycle it. Keeps it out of the waste stream and helps with recycling issues. And our next stop on the tour, C&D, Construction and Demolition. You can see, basically, same operation as the MSW. The gentleman is pushing it in layers, packing it down. That's what he does all day. Now, unlike the MSW, this doesn't have to be covered every day. However, it does have to be covered every 30 days. We'll cover this, and then we'll come right back along, put some more on top of it. It's a repeating cycle. This is the area where we also take yard trash. If you're cutting bushes and grass and trimming trees and stuff like that, it goes in here as well. You'll see different little piles out across there. That's what it is. That's yard trash. It's accepted here too. You may ask, what does C&D consist of? Well, it could be boards, sheetrock, plywood, carpet, vinyl, some plastic, and some paper. Now, if you're wondering why we don't mix the C&D and the MSW together, there's a couple of reasons. One, airspace. On the line landfill, we try to save as much of that airspace as possible. It's a little bit more valuable, so to speak, than the unlined portion of the landfill. So you really don't want to mix stuff that could cause a fast decomposition, like inert material, yard trash material. You really don't want to mix that in with your municipal solid waste because it will cause voids and cause settlement. And our last stop on our tour, the Lychee Tanks. We'll tell you how all of this liquid gets all the way from here back to your drinking water. Now, the last stop on our tour, we're back at our Lychee Tanks. And this is probably where we'll get some of the most interesting questions throughout the whole tour.
How does garbage use go from the ground all the way to the wastewater treatment plant?
This is where all of the water that comes off of that waste, whether it be in a new cell when we start putting waste there, or the existing cell that's been there since 1998. This is where all the water comes. It goes down onto that plastic, as I stated, goes into those filtration pipes, and then through the little series of manholes, like you see, it's brought here to the Lychee tank. Now, you want to know where it goes from here? It goes from here all the way to our waste treatment plant. If you'll notice, as you're coming in, there's little black wells all the way out the gate. It goes from here all the way to the lift station, and from one lift station to the next lift station until it winds up at our waste treatment plant. Then it's treated just like stormwater, or just like the water that you let out of your tub or your kitchen sink. It's treated and then released back into the stream 3 times as clean as the water that comes out of your sink, I'm sure. I hope everyone has enjoyed the tour of the landfill. Most importantly, I hope we've all learned something. I hope we've all learned that it's up to me and you as a community to reduce what waste goes into our landfill to make the landfill last as long as we possibly can. Now you may be asking yourself, this is kind of strange. This man runs a landfill, but he keeps telling me to keep stuff out of the landfill. This is true. Unfortunately, a landfill is a necessary evil. It's gonna happen. As I stated earlier, there's some things right now that we can't recycle. I know I'm gonna go back to it again. Styrofoam. There's no recycling, very little reusing of styrofoam. Now you see, my generation figured out what to do with those tires I told you about. We figured out that, hey, we could chip those tires up and we could use them in asphalt tracks, we could use them in asphalt shingles. Found a use for them. I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. Y'all very intelligent kids. I guarantee you somebody out there will be able to figure out a use for styrofoam. Just remember, it is up to us as a community to reduce, reuse, and recycle, and to make our landfill last as long as we possibly can.